kick to the gut.
I like it.
Oh, my brother, can we all just not get along? Come on, man. This is wrestling. Hey, what's up? It's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building, bro. Ooh, It feels like we are in the end game, bro. You know, it's the end game.
Actually, no. You know what this feels like? I beg to disagree, right? See, we disagree, but we can solve our problems through conversation and discussion. And this is what's the great thing about pro wrestling, not what just went down last week. No, I feel like this is the end of Infinity War, spoiler alert, and Thanos just snapped everybody into dust.
Yes.
Doesn't it feel like the fallout, like, oh shit, we're in the 5-year gap, you know, the snapping happened and we're like, what's going on? How do we move on, bro? We have to get to the end game.
Bro, we are deep in the bleep, man. I mean, it's been a week. But wow, like I feel like this week has been like an eternity, and we're still kind of like the fallout. Like every day, there's some new news story that comes out, and my God,
bro. I have one question though, the burning question that I believe everybody in chat also has. What? When the blip happened, did Thanos snap your mustache away? What happened to the mustache, bro?
Hey, what's up, bro? I feel like 5 years younger, bro. I feel like a Gen Z already. I can do TikTok. Hey,
that one not popular already. This TikTok, the shelf life is about a month or two. After that, not popular already.
Tough, man. I need to keep up on my TikTok game. Oh no. It's well, my girlfriend's birthday is actually this weekend, so your boy got to clean up a bit lah. You know, bring her up, fancy a bit. You know, shout out. Yeah, I think she's here. I don't know whether she's here. So like, keep it PG, guys.
So she wasn't feeling the mustache, lah. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh no. She was, but like I think it was getting a bit too much like you know, Captain America, a bit too much like Chris Evans. You need to shave it. You know, the Endgame he shaved it right in time before he fight Thanos. Same lah, bro.
Did you just compare yourself to Chris Evans?
I'm not America's ass, bro. I'm
Singapore's ass?
Singapore's pantat? I don't know.
Anyway, chat, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here in what will be a very interesting conversation, to say the least. Hey, Big T, what's up? Irvin, how you doing? Saleh, let's go. Toverkin loves the title. He says LFG. Let's freaking go.
Nice, man.
Boy. I mean, okay. Here's the bad thing I feel about this entire situation, because at the end of the day, right, us wrestling fans, we're like, ooh, we love the gossip, we love the tea, and just like the internet, just like real life, this negativity, we love to spread it because it's juicy, you know? It's gossip. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? But what really sucks is the fact that there has been some good wrestling, there has been some good stuff being put out that's completely been overshadowed by this entire incident.
Yeah, it's been swept under the rug. You know what's the craziest thing? When Clash at the Castle ended, right? All of us were like excited, like, oh, is AEW going to be able to measure up? I think WWE confirmed had a better show. But then, by the end of the week, no one was talking about Clash at the Castle. Everyone was talking about AEW, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, bro, the thing is, MJF made an epic return. And whether you like the return or not, I mean, the fans were absolutely on board with that. But that has also been swept under the rug as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I was MJF, I would be pissed, man.
Hang on. Irvin says, Foreign, you lost a hair versus hair match. Is that what happened?
A mustache versus mustache match, bro.
That one versus me, no use because I don't have mustache. I can't grow.
True. I sincerely want to know, you guys prefer me clean shaven or with my misai, bro? You know, I don't know which look to keep on. Bro, I haven't decided yet. Yeah.
As much as we love chat, we love the people who listen to the podcast, the people in our Discord. By the way, if you haven't already joined the Discord, please feel free to jump in. But as much as we love them, we all know at the end of the day, the major deciding factor is nobody there. It's not even me, bro. It's the girlfriend.
Yeah. Tough lah. Sometimes got mood swing, you know, one day like, oh, I love you all, like, you know, fully bearded up. Then next time, you look so old.
Bro. You mean your own mood swing, right? Because
my own.
Bro, you just said she might be in the chat. Why are you burying yourself? Hey, don't bury yourself like CM Punk buried him. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, we have begun. Okay. This is going to be interesting because we are going to argue the case for and against all the parties involved. And I'm very excited, Mr. Young, because all three, you got you have you got beef with here and there. So I want to know how you're going to argue for them.
Wait, I don't know about beef lah, but okay, before we do that though, I want to say one thing, right? Like, I really enjoyed this past weekend SmackDown.
Yes. Of
They
course.
continued the Brawling Brutes versus the Imperium thing, right? And coming
Yeah.
off an amazing match, might be the match of the whole weekend, honestly, like from a pure wrestling standpoint, Gunther versus Sheamus, right?
Yeah.
The crowd was so hot on SmackDown for them when they did the six-man tag.
Sheamus finally got the reaction he wanted to get in 2009, lah, bro.
I know, like, can we please put some respect on Shamus's name? Finally, he's in there with the right guy, and I hope this means big things for Rich Holland, for the lackeys, lah, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah, man, for Pete Dunne, my guy.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get Pete Dunne some shine, man.
Yeah, man. Of course, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of like their names, right, are growing on me. Their new names, I mean.
Yeah.
It's not as techy as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
But, you know.
no more Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. Actually, you know what? You're right. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci have a nice ring to it.
Yeah, you know, like they are wrestling names for sure. It's the kind of names you would hear in the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's not cringe. It's like, okay, a bit of the stereotype, but I kind of get it, you know. Italian and a German together in a team with an Austrian. Okay,
Yeah.
lah, makes sense. All of their names are like that.
This is the new, what was it, United Nations or whatever they called it already. Remember when Sheamus had his own group of like UK, Europeans? What was that one? League of Nations.
Yeah.
With Barrett and everything.
That never lasted, lah.
No. So Hus, thanks for being here.
Hey,
Fast
it's
Game
fun.
SG, it's good to see you as well. The chat is talking about the muffins, the CM Punk Chicago muffins. Oh, that's the one that gives you the power to talk shit. Apparently.
I don't know whether that one is laced with any of that ganja, but like I think CM Punk didn't become straight edge for one night, they become like that already.
Hey bro, if he got the ganja, he would have relaxed. He went the other way, okay? If anything, it might be Molly or some shit in there.
You know, I learned something like from this
Yeah.
whole experience. You know, okay, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm a fan of CM Punk,
Yeah.
right? But just like how you're a fan of Bret Hart, you know, sometimes Bret Hart will say things that like, oh, this guy's still bitter.
Yeah, and actually, that's a good comparison to make because the last sort of backstage incident that I can remember in my time as a pro wrestling fan was the whole thing, and this has been documented many times. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, they got into it in the locker room. He pulled out Shawn Michaels' hair. Shawn Michaels went crying to Vince McMahon, unsafe workplace, and all that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly the same. A lot of parallels, and
Yeah.
I realized something also lah. I thought CM Punk mature a bit, you know, but sometimes lah very tough for them to rise above the head lah. He's not. Okay, this is one thing we have to respect John Cena. John Cena never sing himself down and like get into all the drama. He might be a backstage politician or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But he's never make a fool out of himself in public.
He's a professional, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, everything that Triple H said about Punk was right. Or, oh, the Young Bucks have revealed their true colors. Here's the thing. I feel like now the camps, if you are a WWE guy or CM Punk guy, or if you are Young Bucks guy or whatever, all the camps are out in force with their own narratives, which is very fascinating to watch, right? And
It is.
I'm just like, because I do my gaming stream and some of them, the people there are also wrestling fans and we start talking about it and it's like, I'm like, usually come tune into the Kick to the Gut where, you know, I will put the thoughts together a little bit better lah, right? You know, because while you're gaming, it's like, okay lah, it's just thoughts that come to my head. But it's fascinating to see all the different narratives when I talk about how CM Punk is there. Okay, would you agree with me if I say CM Punk is AEW's biggest draw by far?
Yeah, undisputed.
See,
Bro.
that's the thing. Bro, there is a group of people that don't believe that. That believe that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the Elite, are the biggest draw of AEW. And then when I ask them about, well, you know, the gates, the viewership numbers, they're like, oh, I always thought it was the Young Bucks. So it's like, it's very interesting that sort of the diehards have that sort of a narrative going for them, and they've been perpetuating this narrative of, oh, you know, Jim Cornette hates us, or everybody else is out against us, and we are the ones, we stand for the little guy, whatever the hell that narrative is.
Yeah, you know, okay, we've even interviewed one guy from this podcast like years back, Farikin, remember?
Yeah.
He comes to mind a lot because he was the one that was like really kind of introduced me to like Japanese wrestling. And he was very educated on like Kenny Omega, Young Bucks history and that kind of stuff. So there are fans like this who really love their background, where they came from. And I personally read the Young Bucks autobiography and actually took the time to get to know their history and all that. So like I understand their fan base. They did have they still do have like a very niche audience, but who are really, really like for them lah,
Mm.
and this whole DIY ethics that they stand for. So they do have their audience, right? And but again, I'm a CM Punk guy, so like
Mm.
I will definitely go to bat for CM Punk. But the tough thing is, CM Punk is really literally that metaphor. You know that dialogue from Dark Knight. You
Yep.
know, you either die a hero or live long enough to be seen as a villain.
Uh-oh.
Exactly, that's it. Like I feel like the point about CM Punk is right.
Mm.
He's in his point of view, he's responding to all the drama that
Yep.
happened, right? That
Yep.
it must have been pent up, all this nonsense that Hangman started up and all that. But his biggest mistake was he responded, right?
Mm.
And he just wanted to blow the lid wide open. When I was listening back to the scrum, right? Nobody prompted him or asked him about Colt Cabana. He started that shit on his own.
Like, okay, I guess we're going to jump right into it. We really have forgotten all about the stuff that happened, huh? SmackDown, Raw, like, never mind, huh? Even
We'll dive right into it, I think.
yeah, even Dynamite. Okay, here's the thing. Like, just, taking 7 days away from the whole incident and everything, right? Now that I look back and I have had time to let it sink in, right? And as somebody, look, as much as you want to say I hate the Young Bucks, I don't like the way they wrestle, right?
Yep.
I don't think they are 100% at fault here, but I don't think they are blameless as well. At the end of the day, right, all three parties, and this is going to be the most PR cop-out, you want to say it's a cop-out answer from Mr. Young, fine, but all of them have blame. Tony Khan, I believe, has the biggest blame to bear here.
Okay, let's start talking about all the reasons why they all should be blamed, because I got a lot.
Okay. Let's start with our favorites, the elite.
Yes, the elite.
Beat your meat, or whatever the hell their theme song is. Look, they have had this reputation, and even if you don't follow the dirt sheets and whatnot, right, and you follow the Young Bucks elite narrative, right, it's quite obvious, the whole New Japan thing, that whole chip on their shoulder when it comes to pro wrestling, and then all of a sudden that there's this guy who's giving them all the money, hiring all their friends. I mean, look, everybody that they brought in is one of their friends. This whole Colt Cabana thing was because of them. And then Colt Cabana, like, let's face it, has he been used for anything? No, absolutely not. To say that, he got fired because CM Punk said so is kind of dumb. I don't know where that rumor came from. Now, here's the problem. CM Punk assumes that it was the Young Bucks or the Elite that put out that rumor, right? But let's be real here. His contract came up, and there was no way Tony Khan was gonna renew him. So the Young Bucks went to bat for him, got him a contract at ROH. But somehow the narrative came out that CM Punk was the cause of it. Let's be real. He would not have survived if not for his friends, the Young Bucks.
He wasn't lighting up AEW as part of the Dark Order. He wasn't even like the main guy in Dark Order.
Bro, he was never even around. He was on Dark or Elevation or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah. He is much better suited as like a hometown guy that appear as like a jobber, like a known jobber to fight in the Chicago area if they ever go down that town.
Yeah.
But like you know how they made Brooklyn Brawler like a jobber for the stars, but he's well known and very popular. I felt Colt Cabana was at that level.
Yeah. And then you look at the way Young Bucks have booked themselves as a tag team in AEW's history, right? And it becomes very clear that they don't want to give FTR the rub, or they don't want to have their third final match, or and they've constantly tried to book themselves into positions where they are the feature act, but then they realize they are not. So, hey, let's bring back Kenny Omega, let's have our own little 3-person. It's very obvious that once the big boys came in, their position started shrinking.
Yeah.
And so, thus the whispers and the whisper campaigns.
No, the thing is, like, they legitimately had a reason to book the third match in the series, and it could have main evented all out. No one would have betted an eye. Like Young Bucks FTR 3 would have been a marquee match, and they would have still gotten that spotlight, and they would have put over like a bigger tag team. And there's no shame in losing to FTR at this point in time. But from the reports that came out was that they scrapped that in favor of like a storyline that they said was like, this is a much bigger storyline. What was that storyline? Kenny Omega coming back, winning the trios title. It might be in their eyes like, this is the biggest story because Kenny Omega haven't been seen in a long time. But I just feel that they very misguided lah in their own world lah.
I don't know if misguided is the word. I honestly believe that they've drank their own Kool-Aid, and yeah, maybe you're right. They believe so strongly that the elite coming back, this is the bigger but look at who they've sort of like buried, right? FTR, Red Dragon, just teams that were, that had the potential to succeed. But no, because of them, they never did.
Even the whole Dark Order, like
Yeah.
them facing Dark Order in the finals. Like, I know they want to tell the story of like Hangman Page, right, over there, but I never seen anything like they cut a promo, nothing on
Nope.
like Dynamite leading up to explain that or even revisit that.
Bro, it's all their friends. You notice it's the Dark Order, their friends. Hangman is their friend. It's just one big friend group. So yeah, they carved out this whole division, the trios division, for themselves. Which actually, honestly, I'm like, okay, fine. Let them go and deal with their nonsense as long as we get the other good stuff. And if you like that sort of trio stuff, if you like the Young Bucks, then fine. It's like a buffet. You get a bit of everything, right? Then the two shall not meet until maybe further down when they build a better storyline. Like, can you imagine the dream match CM Punk versus Kenny Omega? Obviously, that's not going to happen. And then you can spin off of that. CM Punk and FTR versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Holy shit! Like, you have years of incredible storylines to tell, but yeah.
Honestly, that feels a lot like, Hart Foundation against like DX or like Nation,
Yeah.
It's clear both don't like each other, both have rivalry, both have differences, but they can make magic in the ring if they can set that aside.
Look, at the end of the day, as much as Shawn Michaels was a bit of a dick back in the day, right? And then, Bret Hart was a very serious guy. He wouldn't take shit. So he would, I don't want to say he's like a man's man or whatever, but he just was very blunt. But they were still professional and they made it work in the ring.
Yeah, so like
they drew money.
They can't fault like Bret Hart or his professionalism. Even Shawn Michaels, right? He cry baby, why? But when the bell rings, right, fuck, that guy still can go and he will still put over the people that he fight again. So
even Edge and Matt Hardy made it work.
Yeah, okay. You see, if Edge and Matt Hardy can make it work, I don't see why anyone else can't make it work. Like, this feels super petty compared to Edge and Matt Hardy's,
Exactly. Well, here's the thing, though. Then we have the whole situation of the personalities that we're dealing with here, right? So, okay, Young Bucks.
Before that, right, I wanted to just do a quick plug because I actually wrote about this topic, bro, on Sportskeeda, bro. So if you guys want to check out foreign Sportskeeda profile, I wrote this article that says 3 reasons why Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks should be fired from AEW and 2 reasons why not.
Oh, so there's actually one more to fire them, lah.
Yeah, I really lay it all out, like play all the cards on the line.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. One of the biggest things that I wrote was the fact that beyond all else, right? I know it's a figurehead title, but they're still EVPs.
Yeah, and I think that leads very well into, I guess this is the argument against the Young Bucks, okay?
Yeah.
Look, you have a problem with CM Punk. CM Punk did what he did. He went out there, ran his mouth, insulted everybody. And even if the Young Bucks are innocent, let's say, for the sake of argument, the Young Bucks never spread any rumors. So they're hot, they're pissed off, right? Hey, hello. You are an EVP. You are a professional. What you should have done is gone to Tony Khan, said, let's have a sit-down meeting and let's hash things out. Do it backstage. Not go to CM Punk's locker room. You know the guy is fuming. He just freaking let it all out. You go in there. There's the dog, Larry, and then, you go in as a big group. It's not like one fellow went. No, it's all 3 of them went. Apparently Ace Steel's wife was there as well. So this was a horrible decision by executives. The problem is your executives. It's not like Bret Hart going to Shawn Michaels. They're both wrestlers, employees,
It's like Triple H right now got a problem with somebody in NXT. Then he go walk in with his team and posse,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's unprofessional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, it kind of makes you wonder what exactly is their role as EVPs. Like, what is their official title? Are they even acting their jobs?
Yeah, we all know they are not. They are just the fake titles. They are still, just kids play on the playground lah. It's like the kid who never earned the prefect title now acting like he power trip. That's what it is.
Yeah, so it's tough. Like, it's like you give a person who is They are great at DIY stuff. They're great at self-promotion for themselves.
Mm.
But have they ever actually promoted anyone beyond that?
Yeah.
Or
So who say it's okay? They don't need advice too.
oh my god. Okay, honestly, that line is really literally the line that set off everything.
Yeah. I mean, Hank, really, like, it's quite obvious. Like, as much as we want. Remember, we were singing Hangman's praise at one point, right? In
Yeah,
terms of,
yeah.
this is a young up and coming guy. He's a cowboy with deep thoughts. Apparently, he freaking deep thoughts so deep that he don't need any advice. To go out and say with a locker room with Arn Anderson, with Jake the Snake, with Chris Jericho, with CM Punk, to say, don't need any advice. Wow. You immediately know the mentality of this group already.
Honestly, like, okay, I don't think Stone Cold or The Rock, right, even at the height of the Attitude Era, right,
Yeah.
they never talked to Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
They never sat down with, like, people from the past
Briscoe.
generation, Briscoe, even talk to, like, Undertaker, like,
Yeah.
even The Rock and Stone Cold, they
Mm.
still even talk to Undertaker as a senior, like,
Yeah.
for advice and stuff, things of that nature.
So does the AEW locker room need wrestlers court? Dung 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 dung.
No, they just need Undertakers, Kane, Stone Cold all to come in and whoop all their asses.
Hey, Shadow, what's up? Thanks for joining the stream, man. How you doing? Shadow says,
Yo.
cannot compare. Triple H will bring in a sledgehammer. They're comparing, the figuring is in the description. But okay, back to the Young Bucks. Look, there are many points against them, right? Whether they spread the rumors or not, their EVP status, yeah? The fact that, look, honestly, in terms of performance, if you like that stuff, you like that stuff. But what engaging, incredible storylines have they been a part of in the past 2-3 years? Name me one.
Bro, I'll do you one better. When was the last heartfelt, gut-wrenching promo that the Young Bucks cut in the ring?
Bro, promo? They only know how to do the Cutler Cam shit.
Bro, you didn't realize something? This is something I noticed, They always cut their like promos are all backstage.
Yeah.
They never do promos in front of the crowds. Or a lot of it lah. They almost exclusively do all their backstage vignettes all taped.
Why?
It's clear they do not know how to handle a live mic lah.
And then you got Kenny Omega who goes out there after Dynamite is done and rambles on about some cat piss, weird, comparing the fans to cats. Whatever, okay.
It's tough, because like I've seen him in New Japan where he had the mic and he like cutting promos against like Tanahashi or like
Bro, he
Okada.
cutting promos against people who can't speak English. Of course he's gonna be good.
Yeah lah, he comes across as confident and being able to hold his own on the mic. But like, like it's like, okay, you're in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
You think you're the best, and then suddenly you are now in the Premier League and like, holy shit, everyone's faster, much better, more equipped than you. I think that's the scenario right now.
Yeah. And also, if you look at the whole situation when you had the Young Bucks and the Elite Universe, and this is like quite obvious why Cody created his own universe as well. Codyverse with his guys, and now it's all starting to become very, very clear as to, okay, this group, they just want to play by themselves. They don't want to take advice from nobody. And it's detrimental to the business at the end of the day because Tony Khan is there trying to make money, right? And grow AEW.
They don't want to play with other people. I guess it's fine.
They just like the fact that there's Akong who is very happy to give them money. But wait, now that there are people with actual good advice and good ideas, now that they are sort of their share of the pie getting smaller, they're not happy.
They gotten defensive lah. Like the issue is, right, if they don't want to like work with other people, like, okay, like I'm just gonna wrestle among my friends, that's fine. But if other people don't want to work with them, and then you ostracize them, you're like, okay, since you don't want to work or be part of our gang or like do stupid shit with us, then you don't have matches with us. Then I feel that is like very, very like you're going against what your job's supposed to be as an EVP. You're supposed to manage all talents, right?
See, yeah, and that comes back to the whole being an EVP thing. If you are an EVP, you are supposed to be making decisions for the company and not for your group of friends. So, at the very least, I know they've been suspended, quote unquote, right? At the very least, strip them of their executive vice president name, their title. The quote unquote, their professional title, gone. They are just wrestlers.
honestly, I think that's the best for the company.
Yeah.
I don't think they will change their sway. I mean, they will still be like they be the orang atas, the person of influence.
Sure.
But don't give them a title because I don't think they're good representatives for the company.
No, don't give them a title, nor give them any booking power. They should be told what to do as opposed to, telling people what to do. Because let's face it, it's quite obvious, right? The people that they brought in, meh. The people that have been brought in that could be main event stars that have not been pushed as well. And then that's the other group. Actually, just randomly, I watched Rampage, right? And I saw a Miro promo. And then I was like, I think the whole time he's been talking about God, right? I think God is Tony Khan. I think this whole time he's been referring to Tony Khan. Why have you forsaken me? What have I done wrong? Why am I? You know what I mean?
If bro, that's deep, bro. That is deep.
I was like, wait a minute. I think he's talking about the wrestling gods. He's not, like, why have you, like, I will go back to my beautiful wife, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I think if you go back and listen to all of Miro's promos and just replace God with Tony Khan, it makes all the sense in the world.
Holy shit. Okay, because when he started out, he called himself God's favorite champion. Because that was when he was a TNT title. And then when he lost it, he called himself God's forsaken champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, towards the end, now he's like, he hates his God, right?
Yeah, because God has forsaken him. What have you done with me? You give me a bit, but you take away so much. Because now he's literally lost fighting House of Black. Don't know he's doing what, right?
Yeah, man.
Talk about God not even including him in the Tournament of Champions. I'm like, oh my God, he's talking about Tony Khan. This whole time, Miro has been promoting against Tony Khan right under our noses.
Bro, that is like amazing storytelling. That is true.
Bro, go back and listen to every single Miro promo. It makes sense now.
Okay, petition for like Miro, right? One day on Dynamite, right? He just comes in the middle of the ring. It's time I address you, God, man to man.
But I'm sure somebody has made this connection before. Come on, it can't be just me at this moment.
Yeah. But speaking of the fact that you watched Rampage, which is of course a very, very unique and rare thing. It's like the blue moon, Mr. Young.
Bro, I was doing laundry. I was bored. I watched Finish SmackDown, which I thoroughly enjoyed. See, here's the difference, right? When I was doing laundry, I actually realized I stopped folding my clothes while SmackDown was happening because I really wanted to watch that six-man tag with Sheamus and Imperium, right? And then when Rampage comes on, I'm like, okay, I was very productive because I was skipping everything.
Okay, but did you pay attention long enough to watch Dax versus Claudio for the ROH title?
Yes, and here's the thing. Just make ROH the Friday show. Just get rid of Rampage. It's so obvious they are dumping like whatever they don't have time for on Dynamite onto Rampage. And then let them build storylines there because god damn it, man. Come on. Like Dax versus Claudio, that was a banger. But with zero build, zero reason.
Okay, so like we're gonna move a bit forward. Like we're gonna jump here and there. Clearly, this is an unstructured podcast, but the fact that they held a talent meeting right before Dynamite, and you heard right who was the Taikong in that meeting? Jericho, Moxley, and Danielson, right? And they talk about unity and getting everyone on board, blah blah blah, like a fresh restart for AEW. Don't you realize that every single match or like every single story going into Dynamite and Rampage felt like the people that wasn't causing any drama, like the real workhorses, which includes Claudio and Dax, giving them a random match. But also every single match on Dynamite felt very focused on like moving the brand forward as well. Don't you think so?
It seems like there's all this bad news, bad juju. Let's just let's move on. Let's quickly build towards something else. And of course, Tony Khan loves tournaments, so he threw together a tournament. I didn't hate the idea of a tournament. The problem is we've seen way too many tournaments. If you didn't have 10,000 tournaments before this would be exciting right now, right? But the fact that it's another tournament, it's like, oh, here we go.
Exactly, that's my exact reaction. When he announced it was a tournament, I literally rolled my eyes. Okay.
Yeah, right? Look, at the end of the day, the Shadow says 3 WWE guys being locker room leaders, ha ha ha. But it doesn't matter where they're from. If they are the right choice, then it bodes well for the business, for AEW, right? I don't know about John Moxley, you know my thoughts about him.
To be fair, Triple H and Undertaker, when they were locker room leaders in WWE, technically they're WCW guys, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, it's what the company needs to move forward, right? And okay, let's pull it back now
Yeah.
to this whole situation. Are we done with the Young Bucks?
Okay, so we've already argued the case for and again. So why I think the Elite is not 100% at fault is wait,
No,
did we establish why
they
they were?
are, yes, they are not 100%. Well, we will establish that when we talk about CM Punk, but they are 100% not. Okay, I'm using too many percentages. I don't want to confuse people. They are not blameless here. Whether or not if they started rumors, and I mean, all signs point to yes, they're best friends with Dave Meltzer and all that kind of shit, right? So, but even if they didn't do that, now let's take that off the table. They acted in a unprofessional manner dealing with talent. They are EVPs. They should have done better. They should have known better. They shouldn't have started the confrontation in the first place. And plus, their booking in the past couple of years has been atrocious. And their wrestling style sucks, but that is just my subjective view.
Okay, bro. If nothing else, right? Okay, even if shit goes down and CM Punk gets fired, blah blah blah, right? I love the fact that somebody called out the Elite and say they can't even manage a damn target. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
So let's move on to CM Punk, right? You know what this smacks of? This smacks of somebody who has been eating shit, looking at things. I'm sure his peers, maybe people like FTR, have been feedbacking to him because they probably see him as the locker room leader because he's a money draw, right? He's probably like, you know what? If Tony's not going to do anything about it, I will do something about it because I don't give a shit whether I get fired or not. So in a way, good on him. But the way he did it in a media scrum, like, look, as if he picked up the phone and he called Tony Khan, we need to have a chat. As if Tony Khan won't say, okay, I listen. Right?
Yeah, but clearly he will. He will lick his... Okay, anyway,
boots. He will lick his boots, bro.
Lick his boots. Yes, he will lick his boots.
So
I'll stop
my point is CM Punk could have done that instead of come out at the press con and just made this huge, gigantic scene.
Do you know the story that came out a couple of weeks ago that like some AEW talent wanted to walk out and then Tony Khan had to beg him to stay?
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure it's CM Punk.
Yeah, you think so? Wow.
Yeah, I really think so because I feel like CM Punk, he's not scared to walk out, right? He has proven that if he's done with this shit, he'll just walk out.
Yeah, he don't care. Like, and here's the other thing too. I feel like the reason that he did blow up, quote unquote, at the press scrum, is because what's his face, TK didn't do anything about it. If TK instantly did something about it, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, okay. He held on to this grudge for 3 months for Hangman Page, right?
Yeah.
For him going to business for himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't resolved. He said it in the scrum itself.
Yeah.
Like, we are way beyond the point of apologizing because there wasn't any resolution. That's why he had to do this, right? So what happened in that 3 months in between? Why wasn't there any mediation between Tony Khan and the two parties? The only thing that I saw happen was Hangman slid down the card and like he wasn't really pushed during this period. But I still feel like it wasn't resolved clearly because if CM Punk came back and had bad blood, that means what Tony Khan does as a guy who doesn't like confrontation, he just avoids the subject and sweeps under the rug. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, he's probably like, okay, just, everyone just quiet down. Don't talk about it. You know what happens when you don't talk about an issue? It festers. Everybody, this is a relationship bit of advice as well. If you don't confront the issue, it will fester and fester until it explodes like a volcano and then CM Punk walks out on you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, as someone who have had experience falling out with people, right? There's always two sides to the story. So, like, even if I feel like I was a victim in this situation, it's not 100% the real thing that happened. It's just what I felt, right? So, that's why I can relate to CM Punk to a certain extent. Like, I know he feels victimized in this situation, and I don't think it's wrong that he feels victimized because clearly the evidence suggests that he's being screwed. Whether it's by EVP, Hangman Page, Tony Khan, even Colt Cabana, I guess. Old story.
Wow. Do you think that he's... See, I don't want to say he's being arrogant about it as well because he knows he's a money draw, right? And he has the proof. He was one of the reasons they were getting to the first $1 million gate or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this was the match. He referenced this against Hangman Page. Now, if you can't trust your opponent because this is right before that pay-per-view match, how can you if you can't trust him to not go into business for himself, how can you trust him in the ring? Like, there is that unspoken sort of trust between wrestlers, performers, right? And I
Yeah.
think in a lot of ways, Hangman Page broke that trust by going out there and going into business for himself.
And you know what's the craziest part? Like, I actually took the time to watch that promo again before Double or Nothing. I
Yep.
watched it again and again. I trying to see like the part where he really went to business for himself.
Yep.
Honestly, wasn't well done. It felt like
because he was shit on the mic. He
Yeah,
he was clunky as about it.
yeah, he felt very like passive aggressive, blah blah blah. But you know, I look and observe CM Punk's reaction. There was like 1 or 2 seconds where his eyes changed. Like, is this part of the script?
Yeah.
But then, right, he actually had a chance to respond directly after that promo. You know. And he said as a retort to what he said, the going to the business part, right? He just said, I don't know why you're so mad. I don't know why you have such a big problem with me. But you know, I'm telling you right now that I'll be the champion. So you will shake my hand. Like literally, he saved the promo and he kept it back to a professional line. CM Punk would have fucked him up on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was being professional. He tried to keeping it together after the fact.
There is no doubt that CM Punk could have, with a live mic, fucked him up and made Hangman look like a complete ass. Which, you know, ultimately he did lah by calling him out, and you know, Hangman didn't come out lah. But here's the thing: why didn't Tony Khan, after that incident, do something? Because clearly in CM Punk's mind, either Tony Khan didn't do anything or didn't do enough.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, okay, we're gonna use the Hogan and Stone Cold comparison.
Okay.
I'm not saying that CM Punk is fucking Hogan or like Stone Cold level.
I hope CM Punk is not fucking Hogan.
No, but the thing is, I have to reference Hogan because I feel every top star got some sort of rub. They got some sort of what do you call it?
Stroke.
They got stroke around here,
Sway,
correct?
yeah.
Remember all the multiple times Hulk Hogan said, "This doesn't work for me, brother."
Yeah, that's right.
and for you know, like he doesn't want to like take a job to someone, he doesn't want to work with someone, blah blah blah. And Bischoff went with Hogan because Hogan was the top drawing star, so you can't make your top drawing star unhappy, right?
Yeah.
Even Stone Cold had this scenario. Do you remember? I don't know. This is definitely your time, but I don't know whether you know this story. Stone Cold didn't want to work with Mark Merrow.
Oh, yes.
Because he took a powerbomb from Sable, and like, I think they were supposed to go into a program, IC title program or whatever it is, and then he told Vince McMahon, like, I ain't gonna work with a guy who just got beaten up by a girl.
Yeah. No, he's protecting his name value. Yes, he is quote unquote doing it for himself, but it also makes sense. You know, he knows that he needs to keep his name value high. Yeah, I cannot be beat or made to look weak against a guy who just took a powerbomb from Sable. It makes sense. There are reasons for that.
We saw this at the start of AEW. But remember last time when AEW first started, the EVPs were too generous.
Yeah.
Omega kept losing the first year. Fucking Cody Rhodes kept putting everyone over. And then we were like, hey, you guys are the top stars. It's okay to be established as a top star first. Then you can build up the people. Because even though, you have clout from other companies, you haven't built up your clout in this company yet. So I think CM Punk was doing the right thing in the sense that, like he's calling out Hangman Page, like, can you fucking like do something about him? And I think maybe what Tony Khan did was de-push him a bit.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, de-push him, but he just kind of, you know, let the whole rumor thing go. I think what really pissed CM Punk the most was the rumor. And we all know that Colt Cabana is like his trigger spot. Like, you want to trigger CM Punk, Colt Cabana is the name.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the reason why the whole scrum started, right, is not... Okay, he brought it up. I know why he brought it up. Because he recognized one of the media journalists. His name is Nick Housen. And apparently he does comedy together with Colt Cabana. So he knows that they know each other.
Is he the cousin of Dan Housen?
No, he's not. But he's a managing editor of a very famous wrestling website, Wrestling Inc.
Okay.
Yeah, so like this guy came and straight away started asking him a question, right? And I did some digging. You know, I really got a lot of free time. I don't know how I do it, but he was actually at the court case of like between Colt Cabana and CM Punk against Dr. Aman in WWE.
Ah.
This guy was actually in the court attending and watching the trial, and when they both won, he interviewed both Colt and CM Punk.
Mhm.
So like they know each other for sure. So
Yep.
Punk knows that he is on good terms with Colt still.
Yep.
That's why he called him out like, hey, you still do comedy with him? Are you still his friend?
Oh.
So that's the trigger.
Like, okay, so now let's make the case against CM Punk. Hey, Wonderboy, it's good to see you, by the way. Thanks for dropping by the stream.
My PW represent.
Yeah, we're talking about the fallout. So, okay, CM Punk could have not brought it up. He, like you said, nobody asked him about Colt Cabana. He just brought it up on his own. Obviously, this has been stewing in him. And we mentioned earlier, he could have brought this up to Tony Khan and delivered Tony Khan an ultimatum. Look, do something about these pricks or I will walk. But
Yes,
I guess,
correct.
maybe Tony Khan didn't want to fire them. And to be fair, maybe CM Punk is telling Tony Khan to fire his EVPs and he's just not going to, bend over backwards like that. Like, I'll see how. And then now CM Punk basically puts Tony Khan in a position where he, kind of fucks everybody.
I wouldn't put it past Punk to do that. Like he will probably spend the first couple of months, like the year there. He's like, you know what? I know what's the cancer in this company. It's the elite. Fire them. I think I can teach you guys how to draw money better.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Now,
And
whether you agree with that or not is a different story. Like, it's something else. But, that's probably exactly what happens. And I think Jim Cornette made a very good comparison to, CM Punk and the Elite versus Sable and Sunny. Okay? He used much more colorful words. I will PG it up a little bit. But what he said was Sunny is a dude, but she will do it right in your face. She's an upfront dude, and you will know, and she'll claim that she's a dude as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's CM Punk. He may be a dick, but he's a dick in front of her face, and there's no surprises. Meanwhile, Sable is a backstabbing dude, and they will do things behind your back, and they'll never admit to being a dude. And that's the Elite. And I was like, holy shit, that's a very good comparison.
I love that analogy. I listened to that particular quote.
Mhm.
And you know what? Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
We've worked with people like this.
Bro, don't get me started, bro. I might go on my own CM Punk press scrum rant, okay?
Bro, that's your trigger. That's
My trigger, yeah. Look, okay, not just my workplace, not just your workplace. Everybody here in chat, I mean, doesn't matter what field of work you work in, right? There are some people who are assholes, but they're assholes in front of your face. They're just them. And then there are the gossipy, backstabby assholes. And if you are neither of those, then you're just like us, just caught in between. You'd be like a Miro or a FTR, just like, fuck, we just want to work.
You know what? Honestly, the lesser of two evil is an upfront asshole. You know what you're dealing with.
Yes,
you have no surprises. And like, you know what? If you actually can get along with an upfront asshole, right? You know that he'll be loyal as fuck.
Yeah. You actually shit. Like a few names actually pop into my head right now. I shall not mention who. Both in current company, previous company as well. But that's
which radio DJ? Mr. Yakub, tell us.
No. I don't say. Okay.
Okay.
But if you want me to say, please like the stream. If we get more than 15 likes, then I'll say it by the end of the stream.
No. If you follow us on Patreon, Mr. will do a secret clubhouse of all
Don't like that. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, but to be honest, the reason why I say that, right, I feel like assholes, right? Like generally upfront assholes, right? I think they are people who have been hurt or like this is getting deep, bro. Right?
Yeah.
I think they just been very disappointed in life, right? And they're like, you know what? Fuck all these humans. I just fuck all these people.
Yeah.
But actually, right, they actually have a lot of capacity to love and be loyal and be like they will fight for you to the end of time. But you just need to earn their trust, right?
Right.
I feel that is so much more like isn't it better to earn something that is very hard, and then once you get it, you know that they are like, they got your back for life, as opposed to someone from the get-go, they are like, oh, so nice, so accommodating, blah, 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 and then suddenly you start hearing stories like, oh, actually this guy, right, he thought this about you, or he thought, and I'm like, what the fuck, yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Sally says there's 9 likes, by the way, 6 more. Let's go. Hey, stop it. Like, y'all are just damn gossip monger, no? Basket.
God.
I know what's happening. I know exactly what's happening right now. Some of you are creating new accounts just to like the podcast, right? Just to like the stream.
Hey, don't just create likes lah. Go follow us on Patreon. That's the most important.
Okay. But sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, but I feel like that's the thing about CM Punk. And I've watched his documentary in WWE. He said that do you remember there's this one time Joey Mercury talked about how CM Punk paid for his house?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like CM Punk helped out a lot of like wrestlers, who going through the scene and all that. He actually put over Seth Rollins in FCW or the early NXT. When he was still WWE champion, he actually went down to NXT and fought or had an encounter with Seth Rollins when he was NXT champion. Even though he didn't need to do that, it was his off day. He did that to put the rub. And even when Dean Ambrose was still Dean Ambrose in FCW, CM Punk came down and put him over. So like, he's the kind of guy, right, that if you win his trust, right, he will go to bat for you.
But and then when you break his trust, wow, he will hate you like Colt Cabana lah.
Colt Cabana, even Hornswoggle. I heard a story about Hornswoggle.
What?
Apparently, Hornswoggle gave out CM Punk's phone number unsolicited to someone else, like some reporter or somebody who wanted a favor.
Bodoh lah.
Yeah, bodoh lah. I mean, like, why would you do that? Like, he thought like, he thought it was cool, blah blah. And then CM Punk blocked him. So don't cross him lah. But the thing is, I feel like I would trust somebody like that more than someone like the Elite who's like, oh, you my buddy, I'll help you out, but then I'm gonna fuck other people for like behind your back or something. Like, I just feel like the Elite is the type of friends, right, who like the moment something better comes out, they just drop them.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we can't confirm any of this, obviously, because we don't work there, but it does seem like the case. Anyway, what we can confirm is what we saw, right? CM Punk lost his shit. Couldn't take anymore. Meanwhile, Tony Khan was sitting right next to him. Now, CM Punk fans, actually no, Tony Khan apologists are saying, well, no, sorry. The people who want to defend, I need to get my thoughts together. Hang on. So there's one group. What is it? There's one group of people saying he just let him talk. Then there's another group of people saying, no. Look at Tony Khan's face. You can see he's very uncomfortable. He did not agree because some people are like, oh yeah, Tony Khan was nodding. Bro, basket. Samuel. Hold on.
What did he say? What did he say?
No. Tovakin. We just got a new sub, by the way, on the YouTube page, right? And it's Samuel To. And I know Tovakin's real name is Samuel. So stop it. You are putting fake likes just to get the tea. My God. I see right through you. I know what you are doing, okay? Basket, no. Anyway. Okay. My point is this. You look back at the video and I have never watched a press scrum as much as this one, okay?
Yeah.
You look at his face. He's like, oh shit. He's nodding not because he's agreeing. He's just nodding because he's a very accommodating person. But you can tell from his face, he's like, oh fuck, what do I do?
It's the same as like, when a guy who's going through a very stressful situation, he doesn't know what to do, but he just laughs. Laughing.
Yeah. He was out of his depth. Quite honestly, completely out of his depth. So, okay, have we stated the case for and against Punk?
We have stated the case for why he's that. We have stated the case against, I think maybe because we've said that he should have been more professional. He should have called it out in the media scrum.
Yeah.
That was his mistake, right?
Yeah, once again, he did something assholey, but was it justified? Maybe it was, but should he have done it the way he did? There you go. So that's the for and against, right?
I think he's too human. He's too much like Batman. He can't be Superman. He can't rise above the head. He can't do a John Cena. Clearly, he doesn't have the mental fortitude to do it.
No, but that's why he's such a great promo, because he talks right from the heart.
Yeah, I feel like Randy Orton is in the same vein. I think
Yeah.
if Randy Orton was in the same situation, he'll probably fuck all these elite people by you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's
Uh
why the media scrum might just be the worst idea in AEW's history. As much as we love it, like Tony Khan, that is obviously catering to the wrestling media, trying to get his company, exciting news, because that's the whole point, right? It's to cater to the wrestling press, like who love him.
honestly, keep it, bro. I tell you, if this media scrum right is like entertainment, that even if it's gonna be the demise of AEW, right, I think they should just capture the whole ship burning to the ground. We need to keep this,
So,
a
okay,
thing.
the idea of the press con already is damn cocked to begin with. You have people who hate each other in blood feuds going on these press conferences talking about how they love working with the person they just bloodied up, which kills the entire momentum. I get it. Oh, y'all are so smart. This is all a work. But come on lah. Like it
No,
at
the,
least
the,
try
the
to at least try to keep up the illusion that these people hate each other, right? Like CM Punk was smart enough to do it when they asked him about MJF. Oh, this Tony Khan just wants me to work with pricks. Because he realizes he probably likes working with MJF because they had an incredible feud. But to sell that story, because he's about to go into a feud with MJF, he can't be like, oh yeah, I love the way he debuted. It's good to see him back. Then they would kill his whole feud with MJF. It's dumb.
that's what Chris Jericho did, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Jericho after that was like, oh yeah, everyone was looking forward to them fighting. MJF even came up to me to ask me for advice. I'm like, oh my god, didn't you guys feud?
No.
Isn't MJF like the biggest douchebag around? And then you want to paint him as this nice guy?
So I maintain the best company that utilizes a press conf well is New Japan. Like New Japan uses it to further feuds.
Yeah.
The best example of somebody utilizing the press con to like further their character is no further than Roman Reigns.
Acknowledge me.
And then he actually got the reporter to say, I acknowledge you.
I know, that guy like you can tell he like a bit scared, right? And then he like, I acknowledge you, and then it furthers his charisma, his aura as well. Like this guy, he will stare you down. Don't fuck with him, yeah.
And then he'll be like, you damn right I do.
Yeah,
Then he
yeah.
walk away. No, and that's perfect because, okay, to be fair, the WWE, they didn't know what to expect. They literally, the reporter also like, hey, I can interview these wrestlers. Okay. So they actually was trying to ask them like legit question. And then Roman Reigns decided, nope, I'm just going to be in character.
Yeah, no, but that is the way to do it. I kind of didn't like that Seth Rollins was all like, oh yeah. He tried to keep up the character for a while. Then after that, he let it go. Like he became
ambassador.
Yeah, he became Seth. Like it's like
Okay, the best one, my last thing, right? The best one was Jay White from Forbidden Doors press scrum. Do you remember?
Did he like just
He
F-bomb all the way?
He go whack the bottle, or he couldn't place the belt properly. Then he fucking whacked it, and then he's like, oh yeah, sorry Tony Khan, but he still fucked everyone, he was really in the New Japan character, which works for him.
I think that the media scrum, right? They need to learn from this and they just need to not be so smart. Not be so, oh, we are all in this club together, we are all smart fans, just work the wrestling press a bit also lah.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
your faces, your baby faces can go out there and talk about how they love working with so and so, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. But even then, don't bury your heels when you are out there, being nice and smiling and shit like that.
Yeah, like I feel like CM Punk can still be like the babyface guy in Chicago and fuck over like he can talk shit about Moxley, and I think he gave Moxley his props, but in a way that feels like, okay, too hard, like veterans fighting it out, now they have each other's respect. That makes sense within the context of the story, right?
Okay, before we move on to talking about Tony Khan's role in all of this, shall we entertain the thought, the idea, and some people have brought it up in chat as well, shall we entertain the thought that this may be an elaborate work?
You know what? I forgot. I hope it is.
Okay, look. So now apparently CM Punk is injured again. So, some people have said maybe they are working the fact that he's injured. So there's another reason to strip him of the title, right? Now, the problem with that argument is, and they must know, CM Punk must know, the Young Bucks must know, Tony Khan must know that you go and do this work, you completely overshadow your other top heel coming back, which is MJF. So you're
Yeah.
sacrificing MJF's heat for this angle, this payoff or whatever.
That wasn't even a thing like two weeks ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly, unless they really want to fuck MJF over, I highly doubt this was a work.
But I do believe that they can do what they did with MJF and they turn a actual shoot into a work in the future.
Well, I mean, look at what they did on Dynamite, which, okay, let's give them props, right? MJF comes out and he gets a hero's welcome. And they are cheering, and they knew that. I mean, even Chris Jericho talked about it, right? You will come back. This is when Chris Jericho shared a little bit too much. He talked to the press about how, MJF came to me for advice, and I told him that you will be cheered when you come back. And then he was like, but I don't want to be cheered. Like, he's such a nice guy. Like, fuck, man. Anyway, that aside, right? So that's exactly what happened. He came back, he was cheered, but he masterfully sort of turned the crowd right back against him, which is a testament to MJF. And then they carried on with the tournament. And, as much as I shit on Moxley, right, the last 2 weeks, his promos have been not bad, I have to say.
I think Moxley, when he gets serious and he realized like, shit, okay, I have to carry, because I think he always prided himself as a workhorse.
Yeah.
Remember, there was this one time he kind of proclaimed that he actually worked the most amount of dates in 2016 in WWE. He ran himself to the ground. Right? I think he has a certain pride in that. Like, he takes pride in like, okay, you know what? He's like Bret Hart. I'm not saying that the same talent or skill, but he's like the Bret Hart mentality of, I want to be a good leader for everyone, and I'm going to show it by acting like it as opposed to like just saying it,
Yeah, then don't go to GCW and do like, the bullshit you do there.
Non-canon for him.
Hey, hello, there's this thing called the internet, everyone will see. Anyway, back to the whole point. I don't think this is work. This would be a terrible idea as a work. They could have done 1,000,001 other things, right? So now let's move on to finally Tony Khan. And at the end of the day, right, I dump at least a majority of the blame of this whole situation on him.
Very simple, bro. Would Vince McMahon have even allowed it to get to this point?
No, you're right. You're exactly right. Look, so if you have your top talent, complaining about something, Vince would have done something about it or tried to placate the top talent. Tony Khan obviously is too much of a people pleaser, and he talked about it in the press conference as well. He used to be a bartender. I learned this about him. Ooh, like a bit of oversharing.
Who I share that? I don't understand.
Yeah. He should have not let the Young Bucks run their own little thing. He should have honestly stopped CM Punk. He at the end of the day pays the bills, right? And I know he's a fan. That's the problem. He's a fan. He's not a boss. He's a friend, a fan, whatever you want to say. He's just there like, oh shit. He could have done something about it.
Honestly, if he really wanted to do something about it, okay, if I know it's hindsight, right? But if he knew CM Punk was gonna starting to get off the rails and stuff like that, I said that, hey, I'm sorry, cut off the mic, security, get him out there, escort him out.
What?
Yeah, like as in like to minimize the humiliation. She's gonna get humiliated because he basically tell his top star to get out of the press conference, right?
Yeah.
But I do get somebody like get Ace Steel or get like FTR, get his friends like, hey, we gotta cut off your time. We got more people. Like end it there, because I remember Tony Khan tried to talk about something else, and then suddenly CM was like, I'm sorry to keep harping on this because I'm pissed off, blah blah blah. And then he said like, and like the problem is he has too much of a friendship relationship with them that he can't separate it. He can't fuck them up when he needs to.
Bro, I don't even think it's a friendship. That's the problem. I think it's a fan. He's a fan. You know what I mean? There's a difference. If it was a friend, I dare say he would be, hey, bro, let's not go there, lah. Let's show some respect. You know what I mean? I think if he were truly on an equal... See, this is the problem. Obviously, CM Punk is on a pedestal for Tony Khan, right? And I mean, for any of us, I think if we were interviewing CM Punk, we would be like, oh yeah, you say you're a legend, blah, 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 right? So I get it. But also at the same time, maybe if you had done something previously prior, you set them down. I think a lot of this has to do with getting everybody to sit down together. And maybe Tony Khan tried, but the elite wouldn't sit down with CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk would.
Of course, CM Punk is not the kind of guy who will avoid conversation or avoid topic, right? You know what's funny? I think this is the exact reason why, right? After Stone Cold, after John Cena, right? Vince McMahon is like, you know what? Fuck making this company based on one top star. I'm just gonna make the company the big draw, not the star.
Yeah.
Because I think hitching the entire future of the company on one person, you're in the women fancy of that person. Why he doesn't want to play ball?
Yeah, no, that's 100% it. Like you look at Conor McGregor, you look at Ronda Rousey. I'm using UFC as an example right now, right? Like Dana White for the longest time, he hitched his wagon to names like Anderson Silva, like Iceman Chuck Liddell, like Conor McGregor. And once they lose, because that sport is quote unquote it's a shoot, right? So.
Yeah.
Or once they go into business for themselves, they want to fight anymore, they become too big for their britches, then you're sort of left there with your balls hanging in the wind.
Yeah, and I think UFC has suffered greatly in the last couple of years because of a lack of star names.
Yeah.
But I feel like they should follow like sports, like Manchester United, Liverpool. Just because David Beckham leave, just because Ronaldo leave, people are still fans of the club, not fans of the player.
Yeah, I mean, some might follow them to wherever they go. Real Madrid, they might follow them to Real Madrid. But by and large, if you're a Man U fan, you're going to be a Man U fan, regardless of who plays.
Yeah, so like when they go through the shit times or they go through the good times, you will still be there for them regardless. So I think because AEW is so new, they had to rely on the star names to build them up.
But you already had Chris Jericho, you had Jon Moxley. They were built up, right? The problem is they hadn't been building up their own talent. They have some of them, but let's face it, their own talent is sort of in that main event, mainstream name value.
Man. If they actually focus on them, they are there already.
Yeah. Well, CM Punk tried to do it for MJF. Now MJF is that guy.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. So, MJF is a star.
And who built it? It was CM Punk. Who have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega built? You tell me.
The Lucha Bros. The Dark Order.
So that, you know what I mean? So in terms of contribution to AEW as a whole, that's my big gripe about the Young Bucks. If you look at it objectively, right? At the end of the day, they weren't big enough stars they thought they were big stars. That's why they were losing left, right, and center when it first started. But it didn't make anybody because they were nobody.
Honestly, I think they needed the WWE run so that they can legitimize whether they are top star or not.
Yes.
As much as they say, we made it without WWE's help, blah blah blah. I feel like that is like their biggest kryptonite as well, because I don't think they will succeed in WWE.
Bro, big fish, small pond. That's what they were. Now they are small fish in the big pond.
Yeah, the pond that they created became super huge. They got a whale in CM Punk. And it's not even like they are the biggest star in the company right now. Like there's other bigger stars in this company, so I don't think they can even outdraw. Tell me they will outdraw Bryan Danielson or fucking even. I think Blackpool Combat Club is a more bigger draw for the company right now.
Yeah. Even okay, this might be controversial. Even the Jericho Appreciation Society, as much as we hate the stuff that they've been doing recently, right? I'm like, I think more people will know Chris Jericho.
You want to know something that's crazy? It might be debatable, but I honestly believe it's 100% true.
What?
Even Orange Cassidy is a bigger star than Young Bucks.
So it's fine. It's fine if the Young Bucks are not trying to be stars and are doing EVP stuff. But it's clear they're trying to hold on to the power and try to promote themselves as well, have their own little division and tag titles, trios titles, blah, 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 blah. And therefore, you have that whole issue, which goes back to Tony Khan allowing this to happen. I think moving ahead, right? I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. I know a lot of people are like, oh, what is this? Like WCW, all the egos getting in the way. It will implode. If Tony Khan has any sense, he will look at himself and realize, okay, this is how I fucked up. Time for me to take a step back and stop playing fanboy with the millions and billions of dollars. Let people like your Arn Andersons, I guess Tony Schiavone, he's the head guy in talent relations, right? Even get advice from JR, fire Excalibur. I mean, Randomly. Well, no, but here's the thing. Excalibur is part of this fucking elite group.
I know.
He's that main hype man, right? And okay, just random thought as well. Dynamite and Rampage is the same fucking guys on commentary. It's so irritating. Whatever happened to, there are one or two guys that they swap out, like Chris Jericho comes in, Tony Schiavone leaves, whatever. But it's the same vibe show, same announcers. Excalibur's voice is always there. Just take him.
Make it distinct. Make it different.
Get rid of it. Make it ROH. Put that guy Caprice, who's amazing.
And the Ian Riccoboni guy as well.
Yeah, just put both of them there. You want to add one Taz or Regal, whatever lah. But just have it be a separate show. Because really, right now, Rampage is just not worth watching.
Honestly, I think Tony Khan, I know he wants to still be part of the creative. That's fine, because that was what Vince McMahon was. But he needs an inner circle. And I don't mean I mean Chris Jericho also. Like, Chris Jericho is one of them. I think his only mistake, that kind of make this all a situation was he chose to hitch his bandwagon on the Elite.
Yep.
Even though, yes, the Elite had the clout at that point in time, they were available, they were the biggest unsigned stars.
Yep.
But I felt like he shouldn't have given them vanity roles in management.
Yeah.
Make them the wrestlers.
Look, Cody was smart enough to realize that he couldn't do both. So he's like, you know what? I don't need this drama. I'm sure he felt the drama from the Elite. Sure. That's why he hits out. He's the smartest EVP there. He was the first one to realize this is a problem. Time for me to go. And this powder keg, this pressure has been building, pressure cooker has been building. Chris Jericho, smartest man there. He was like, you know what? I don't need title. Just pay me money, can already.
Yeah, that's the best. And he still have more influence than the EVPs, in my opinion.
Exactly, right? Because he legitimately has experience in big money drawing cards. He was in the WWE, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So
One last thing about Tony Khan that I felt that even CM Punk said it in a press conference, and I think that is very, very telling. He said like because I think Tony Khan apologized because he didn't answer the question head on, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then Punk said, you know what, we are all learning here, Tony. We need to get better. We're all learning as we go along.
Yeah.
So even CM Punk acknowledges that Tony Khan is new in this. Yeah. I think as a smart guy, he seems like a smart guy. If he can remove his emotion out of the window, he knows what he needs to improve on. Yeah. I think going forward, he will have filters. Because
hang on. I feel like he won't. Because, and hear me out on this, and you might agree or disagree, right? I feel like he's a numbers guy. He might be one of those. He strikes me as one of those people who is so much into numbers, right? He doesn't actually have a good personality. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Cody was that guy for him, clearly. Yeah.
So now that Cody is gone, well, is Tony Schiavone going to be that guy? Does he have the experience? Well, that'll put butts in seats.
Well, okay, when I see like very successful ownership, right, in sports team, right, there's one guy who's the analytical guy, all about the numbers, the business side. Yep. But there's always one charismatic PR guy that can like be the face of the company and all that.
Yeah.
Tony Khan wants to be that guy, but he can't.
See, that's the thing. At the end of the day, he needs to realize his strengths. His strengths is sitting back, analyzing the numbers, and making the big business deals. So what he needs to do is take a back seat and let people with experience handle the pro wrestling, dealing with the egos. That's the big thing, and that's the main problem here. He couldn't deal with the egos because he's everybody's best friend. And we've heard before, people like Joey Janela, people like, I can't remember who else, but instead of firing them or telling them they were not going to be used, he just quietly let them not be called in to do work. And then, when the contract's up, bye-bye. Like, he is terrible people skills.
I just realized something, bro.
What?
You know who he reminds me over in WWE?
Who?
That's not working there right now?
Who?
Fucking Shane McMahon lah, bro. He's like Shane in the sense that he wants to be everyone's best friend. He's likable and stuff like that. But do you realize like Shane lacks a bit of that business savviness or that ruthlessness kind of thing? And it's very well complemented by his sister. and
Yeah.
his father.
Yes, but over there, you see, they have the whole McMahon family the McMahon Helmsley family to deal with that situation. Here, Tony Khan is trying to do it himself. Of course, he's cracking under the pressure. Of course, he's bitten off more than he can chew. So the first thing he needs to do, he's understand that and step back and bring in people or promote the people around him to do all this stuff that he can't do. Like, we bring up the example once again, he is the guy in charge of Fulham as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? He's not fucking calling plays and teaching them how to exercise and all that bullshit. He has coaches and fitness instructors and PR people and HR people for that, right? Why isn't he doing the same for AEW? I'll tell you why. Because he's a mark. He's a fan. He's like, oh my god, I get to play Fantasy Booker. It's like me playing WWE 2K22 GM mode. I can buy, sell. Wow, shock only because I'm a fan. But at some point, you have to realize, bruh, this is not something you can do by yourself.
Yeah, he can't help himself but get involved because I know he loves wrestling much more than his football or American football. But okay, you know, okay, I've been watching this show right now on Disney Plus. Welcome to Wrexham. You heard about that?
Ryan Reynolds bought a team, right?
Yeah, he bought a football team. And the best part is this football team is all the way in Wales and he doesn't know anything about football and he doesn't know anything about the community, but he's a sports fan. He wants to support this community, blah, 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 right? And this team is fucking in FIFA. So, like, do you think Ryan Reynolds, when he bought over the team, he starts managing the club?
No!
He might have a say in which players to buy, for sure, because he's funding it. But he's not gonna fucking, like, tell the coach, okay, I want fucking Pele, buy fucking Maradona and put inside in the team.
Maradona, how old already?
They're not even alive.
Maradona passed away already, exactly. Yeah.
So, like, okay, this is if I want to fantasy book AEW right now, right? Make the spokesman, the new Cody Rhodes, I think Chris Jericho. He's really the spokesman in a way.
Yeah.
So make him like I don't know, like what's Stephanie's
chief
branding officer?
I don't know. Well, okay, I actually disagree unless you want Chris Jericho to retire as an on-screen character because he's still healing it up.
Yeah, when he does retire, and I feel like he might be Tony Khan's Patterson. I think he is Tony Khan's Patterson. In terms of senior management, like for like the wrestling agents that is dealing with the people, I want them to be like the one that is kind of setting the tone. Dustin Rhodes is there, for God's sake.
They already have Jerry Lynn. I mean, these are some of the people that CM Punk brought up.
Yeah, Jerry Lynn. Even somebody like what's that guy's name? Not Dustin Rhodes. Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Yeah.
Billy Gunn. Mark Henry, I think he's more into recruitment, so he can do all that.
Paul White, no more BS. Where the fuck has he been?
Yeah, like Paul White, I think that kind of guy's size, who's gonna fuck with him? You know, if he wants to make shit happen.
You go in there and strangle the Young Bucks, like, hey, fuck you, you better not stop it with your whispering bullshit. No, here's the thing. Quite clearly what has happened is he has all these veterans there, but he has not empowered them. And I think for most people, if you talk about a management structure, and in a way, I'm talking about this in a from experience lah.
Of course.
You can have experience, but if you don't empower the experienced players in your team, they are not going to automatically stand up because some of them might be afraid, am I overstepping my bounds here? Some of them, maybe they don't want that role, or maybe they are like, oh, wow, this is above my pay grade, or you know what I mean?
For sure. That's why I say anyone who's listening to this podcast right now, please empower Mr. Young so he can create real change.
Empower me to do what? Vote for me for what? I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, anyway, that's a very subtle thing.
Yeah, but you get the point, right? You get the point that like you need to be able to. It doesn't matter how talented your people are. If you don't empower them, the right people, to do the things that you need, then everyone is doing whatever the hell they want lah. And in this case, he's empowered the wrong people. He's empowered the elite. That group of people who don't really know how to draw big money in terms of pay-per-views, in terms of like the big stage.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the case. Is putting very inexperienced people in charge. I would say it's putting like somebody like John Laurinaitis in charge, because what has he ever done in the business for him to be such a big role in the company?
People power.
You know? So like I hope going wow, that's a very good impression. I hope going forward Tony Khan gets the right people around him. And whether does that mean bringing back the Elite and CM Punk into the fold, though? What do you think about that?
Okay, here's the thing, right? If they met, let's say you give it a couple of months,
Yeah.
you bring back CM Punk, you bring back the Elite. If they can do business, this will be the hottest angle of 2023.
Yeah.
Look,
I think
like,
so too.
there is money to be made here. But, will their egos allow this? I somehow don't think so.
You know what, bro?
Mm.
If they can actually work out their differences, this can be the next big angle since NWO versus WCW. Don't you think so?
It could be, yeah, no,
They-
100%.
They can split the locker room right down the middle, kayfabe, hopefully.
Because
Fucking-
you see, yeah,
Like
Yeah,
make who is loyal to the Elite one side, make who is loyal to CM Punk, FTR, blah 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 one side.
yeah, easy already. And then you have the NWO versus WCW all over again. But can they do it? That's the problem. And this stems from a real life issue. At the end of the day, WCW versus NWO was by and large a work, right? It
But-
sucked. It sucked for a lot of people. There were real friction. There was real like backstage politics. Yes, but here already got hurt feelings. Like they already hate each other. So
The only issue is that the Elite wouldn't want to take a loss if they were to do this storyline. Right?
neither would CM Punk though.
Yeah, so but there's nothing lots of money can solve.
Look, the Elite won't even take a loss to FTR. Let alone lose this entire feud. Irvin says, so what did Nakazawa and Cutler do? I can just imagine this whole scenario where the three Elite charge into CM Punk's locker room, and there's CM Punk with Ace Steel's wife and Larry the dog. And then Larry the dog is freaking out, right? Because you got like some of these three guys making a scene, and then you got one naked oily man, orang minyak in the background, like, hello, that's Nakazawa, by the way. Orang minyak is Nakazawa, because you know he does the baby oil gimmick, right? He's like
Yeah.
sliding into the room, what's up? And then Cutler is fucking trying to film all this shit. That
Why
is
it-
the scene in my head.
Bro, why does it feel like a skit from The Office right there, bro? Exactly the same, sir.
And the craziest thing is there was a dog in the room, and the only person who bit anyone was Ace Steel biting Omega.
Can you imagine this is like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like all the Zoom cuts.
Yeah.
All the-
And then you see freaking Ace Steel like, pulling Omega's hair, biting his arm, and then Larry the dog like,
What a gimmick. You know what? It just came to my mind, bro. We can ask one guy directly in our chat for some first-hand experience of Kenny Omega.
Oh, who? Tia.
Mighty, you're right there, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us, bro, your experience? Because you shared the same locker room with Kenny Omega when he came to Singapore 2019, right?
I'm sure he was nice. You think he's going into Statement's locker room and kicking down the door, demanding reparations or anything, man? Come on, lah. Irvin says, do you think they super kick the door?
It sounds like in character for them to do that, right?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
boom,
They're like super kick
party, and then they kick open the door.
Kick the door.
And then
Yeah,
CM
so
Punk
then-
is what the fuck? And then like, okay, honestly, nobody knows how this whole business went down, right? It's not like there's security footage, and apparently nobody else is there. If anybody else was there, they're not saying anything because there might be legal
Yeah,
ramifications.
they don't want to be like kind of caught in the act or caught in the middle of it, I think.
Yeah, they got the police involved as well.
Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, Mighty, like Kenny Omega, I think he's not really like he doesn't cause trouble unnecessarily. And I feel it's like, honestly, I think it's the Young Bucks more than Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega seems to be caught in the middle of this shit.
What you know what it is, right? When you are hanging out with the wrong group and you are a nice guy, but then your best friends are a bunch of dicks, and you become a dick because you hang around them as well.
A dick by association lah.
T says, well, what happened was when we met was that Kenny and Nakazawa were in their room. They come out around showtime to talk about their match. He's a chill guy. Yeah, you know, because this is like, we talk about this is a sports show for them. They are guests, they do their job, and they leave, right? They are leaving.
Yeah.
This is not like the company they are working at, that kind of thing.
But I think the funny thing was I think Destroyer Dharma was like videoing them going out into the entrance.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
he sent the footage to us. They were like, hey, this is a video of Kenny Omega walking out. And then when he was walking out, right, Kenny Omega is like getting ready,
Yeah.
like slathering his side. Suddenly he looked at Dharma like, hey, you're filming me?
Filming
like,
me?
got the face, you know, like,
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is a video.
Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it, so you can't hold that against him, right? But look, lah, at the end of the day, right? Like, somebody should do a skit, and we should do a skit, bro. We didn't get Saleh. We go and film in some office building, and we reenact this whole Young Bucks versus
Oh my god. You know,
CM Punk Ace Steel fight.
we become like the S gag, like the work mat.
Yeah,
It's just a bunch of them just doing a stupid skit. Like, I
Yeah.
think can, bro. You want?
How are we gonna fight ourselves?
I don't know. I think quite funny lah.
And then
I still have my CM Punk shit. I can become CM Punk for you. Bro.
Take one fake dog, Larry the dog over there.
I don't know whether you want to use your real life dog as well as part of the skit, but sure.
Can. She will bark one. Zayden says where to sign up.
Okay. We should do a crowdsource. We ask our listeners. Hey guys, who wants to join us? We go do one time the Elite versus CM Punk skit.
Fuck
Put it
lah.
on our Instagram page.
Walao eh.
Go viral already.
Okay, so we kind of covered a lot of it already, right?
Yeah, we did.
The
In
fall-
a weird
Yeah.
way, we covered a lot, but we never actually covered the this past week in wrestling.
Yeah, like we said earlier, this is completely overshadowed the situation. I've watched the press scrum more than Dynamite, I swear, At the end of the day, look, moving forward, right? And maybe we can put a bow on this. I think it is on Tony Khan to sort of realize what he can and more
For
importantly, what he cannot do.
Yeah.
Not let certain people run the show, people who are not qualified, and apparently people who are not professional enough.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what's the funny thing is? If you want to do like a quick recap on like the 5 non-CM Punk AEW related news, right? A lot of shit happened that we just gloss over completely, or we never even mentioned until right now.
Like what?
Braun Strowman returning to Raw.
Yeah. It was weird, man. He looked sad. Like, I don't know if...
He slipped and fell when he wanted to do his train.
Yeah. That one, he... what was it really? What's his face? Chad Gable was in the way, and then he like, whoa, siam, and then he fell down. It was damn funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be a great new challenger to Roman, especially if they can recapture 2017 Braun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what he said?
Why?
Bro, clearly, right, his narrative has been controlled.
Hey, so what happened to EC3,
EC3 cannot do his CYN show already lah. He's one of his biggest stars left, what?
He bolang also, and like, didn't Triple H, hire him, and he was in NXT? Shouldn't we expect EC3 next?
Nah, I think he's too busy in his promotion already lah.
Promoting what? He got no more narrative to control already, what?
Nobody is watching. Apparently, he cancelled his CYN show that's supposed to go on like right after Adam Shear returned to WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I don't know. So that happened. That whole meme. I know Raw feels like a lifetime ago, but the whole meme where Dexter Lumis was underneath the ring looking up at the Miz was hilarious.
Yeah. I like that Raw and SmackDown, they have like, their main angles, but they have these Easter egg sort of side quests, sort of like blink it and you'll miss it, but then the social media team comes in to highlight it. That's for the diehard fans. Oh, I see, they are, okay, I draw the comparison, right? WWE is like Disney and like Marvel, whereas AEW is like DC. Their shit is all over the place. AEW, sometimes when you got good directors in DC and good cast, you get a good movie. But by and large, they're directionless. They're all over the place, right?
Yeah, okay.
That's like AEW. WWE sort of has like a formula, a 10-year plan sort of a deal. We know, okay, what we want to do. And at the end of the day, it's the brand. So we can push out no names. Like, did you know about Moon Knight or She-Hulk or Miss Marvel before Disney started pushing them? No, not really, right? Unless you're diehard, then you might know them. So there are a lot of parallels here. Now, what Tony Khan, AEW needs to do is what, ironically, they're owned by WBD. What they need to do is what WBD has done. They put together a team, one hit person, map out the next 10 years.
Yeah, they need to retcon everything.
Yep.
Essentially, what John Moxley did was he retconned everything when he cut that promo lah. I think.
But okay, right now, if John Moxley wins the title again, it's a bit embarrassing. I don't think he should win.
No, he shouldn't.
No, like it just feels. I feel bad for him though. It's like, oh shit, I only win it because I only held it because I was holding it for CM Punk. But then now I win it back again, but only because CM Punk left or was injured.
Yeah. Honestly, don't you feel bad for Moxley? I think Moxley,
I do.
if he knew what was going to happen, wouldn't have dropped the title to Punk.
Yeah.
He would have kept it
Yeah.
and save all this drama. But we know for a fact who we want to win this tournament, right? Okay,
Of
can we say it on the
course.
count of 3?
Okay.
One,
1, 2, 3.
3.
Brian
Danielson.
Chris Jericho. No, I'm kidding. It's Brian. No, it's 100% Brian Danielson. Yes.
Come on, right? Like,
Irvin says the problem with wrestling is there are too many egos and injuries that will screw up long-term plans. Yes, but then this is just like any sort of when you talk about planning for work, planning for school, it's still good to have a plan. And then when you have a plan, anything falls apart, you can work around it. Versus you have no plan at all. When things fall apart, lagi worse, you don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
correct. Exactly. And I feel like you can't control injuries. Injuries
Yep.
will happen, it will fuck it up, right?
Yeah.
But that means you need to have a plan B, plan C, plan D.
Correct,
You have people next in line ready to step up at all times.
The better you plan, the more you prevent this shit from happening. And guess what? Tony Khan can't. Wow, that's easy for me to say. Tony Khan cannot plan like that if he's doing everything.
And I think Tony can't be so. This is
Tony
like a
Khan
tongue
can.
twister.
Tony Khan. Kanina. Okay.
Tony Khan cannot stick to a storyline, die until to the
Yep.
point that even though like something else better come along, he will die, stick to it. He needs to be adaptable to change as well.
I mean, credit to the WWE. Kofi Mania is an example of something that was just organically grown out of the blue. They're like, all right, let's fucking go with it. Let's create a moment at WrestleMania.
Yeah, like Hangman Page, I felt like when he finally won the title, kind of like an anticlimactic thing because Bryan Danielson was the guy that people wanted.
Yeah. Same with FTR. So far, I mean, FTR is getting cheer. You just listen to the pops FTR gets, right? And still, the one title they can't win is that title.
Bro, their song, right? I mean, I'm not a guy from the 80s or 70s, but I'm like dancing to disco just listening to their music. I'm like, damn, this FTR. Yeah, like
they
perfect,
probably
right?
have the most recognizable next to Judas theme song in AEW. I'm sorry, but AEW's music is quite crap. Not everyone is not recognizable.
The one that I feel very sad of is Wardlow. I really like Wardlow, but his song is "This is War."
It's better to just pipe in the Wardlow, the Goldberg thing. Wardlow, just do that.
You know what was the most random thing on Dynamite that I actually laugh at?
What?
When John Moxley he go disturb MJ as he's walking away. Oh, by the way, your music sucks. Like so random. Apparently that's royalty free music, you know.
Wow, yeah, clearly, right? Well, and then there's the AEW video game. Can you imagine, right? If let's say the Omega and the Bucks they get fired, and then Adam Cole, the undisputed elite, they're all injured, and then like the FTR are not in the game as well. And fucking when the game comes out, nobody's actually in it.
I think that So I think that's the only reason why they won't get fired, because who the fuck is gonna do the rollout for the game if Kenny Omega and the Elite is not there?
Honestly, I'm very worried for the game. The game has, in terms of development, it's been hanging in the air for such a long time, and then we hear issues like between the developers and Kenny Omega. Oh, Kenny Omega is tough to work with. Who'd have thought?
I don't know. But judging from the first game footage that you saw, like, have you given your thoughts about it? Because you mentioned it, right?
Yeah, it's very No Mercy-esque. It looks fun. It looks like a fun sort of like arcade
simulation.
No, it's not simulation. It's arcade.
More arcade, okay?
Yeah, like 2K22 will still be the simulation-esque type game. Yeah. And if they are not careful, they keep delaying it. They put it out when WWE 2K23 comes out. It's a bit of a problematic thing because now you have a game which is almost 2 years old. Chris Statlander still has alien makeup in that game.
Bro, when they remember the first time they released some footage, it was like Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander was a thing.
Yeah, and then now they are like kind of faded into the background already, right? Like this
Yeah.
game is gonna have 2-year-old gimmicks, and that is not
Yeah.
gonna be good. You know, and I mean,
Yeah.
WWE, the 2K, they try to make it as updated as possible. Obviously, they can't, develop video game development cycles and all that kind of stuff. But because this AEW thing has been sort of hanging there, like I'm very, honestly, bro, very worried for it.
Cody Rhodes is still in the game somehow. So they better release it soon, because if you're gonna release it anytime next year, it's like 1 year since Cody Rhodes left. So no point.
Maybe that's the strategy. You release it when Cody Rhodes wins the WWE Championship. Then Cody is at his highest. All of a sudden, you got a game with Cody.
Okay,
That's the way, bro.
So let's hope that they release this by Halloween, I guess, by fall.
So far, no, absolutely no news. So it is what it is.
I love Zayden's comment. AEW shelf forever.
Oh my god. Okay, so yes. I mean, there it is. The Civil War. I don't know if it's still quote unquote raging on, but I hope they move on from it and they get stronger, they learn, and just there's no more press scrums. Honestly, I think it's a bad idea.
I think for now, to keep things on a lead and not leak stuff, I think they should do it.
Or do the press scrum only for your big 4, big 3, not every single pay-per-view, right?
Bro, they only got a big 4, bro.
Oh, that's true. I just realized that. Okay, then just do for 1 or 2. When you have something big to launch.
The thing about this press scrum, I think it works only if they choose the right people to highlight certain storylines, not everything.
Yeah. They are not highlighting storylines. It's literally a platform for people to vent and complain. And that's the problem. Yeah. Because you don't want them to bring all this unprofessionalism to the table. Even if it is pro wrestling where they're supposed to be larger than life and talk shit and cut promos and stuff like that.
You know what's the funny thing is when he said I know you fancy yourself a journalist, even in this stupid fake world of pro wrestling or whatever it is he said, right?
Yeah.
And then I cannot personally attack, and I'm like, then I write all these articles about wrestling.
No, he said crazy world of pro wrestling. You see, despite all the things you want to talk shit about CM Punk being unprofessional, right? He still treats the business with respect, I feel. Like the business itself. He'll never make an opponent look like an ass. He will never say, I love working with CM Punk. I mean, with MJF, he's such a nice guy because he's protecting his gimmick. See, at the end of the day, that's why I respect someone like CM Punk a lot more than I do the Young Bucks, because at the end of the day, he wants to further the business of professional wrestling, not go and make myself, I'm so smart. I know you're smart to me, and then we friend, I tell you secrets, and that kind of backstabby shit.
Despite all the drama that went down, has your opinion of CM Punk changed?
Here's the thing. It has not changed. It has just been illuminated because I wasn't around or I wasn't paying attention to wrestling when his first pipe bomb and then subsequent leaving of the WWE happened. So I didn't pay attention to that, right? I only know of it sort of
after
passing.
The fact.
Yeah, after the fact. And it's different when you are there experiencing it live. I'm sure for you it was like, whoa, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you are sort of reading about it after the fact, it becomes like, okay, lor. Oh, this shit happened, lor. You know?
It's almost sanitized.
Yes. Yeah, you're getting a version of it that is like, someone's told a story. And when stories are told, they can be told with a bias. Now we are watching this unfold right in front of our eyes on YouTube.
On YouTube,
Yeah.
Do you feel like this makes you more of a fan of him, less of a fan of him, or what's your thoughts?
I wouldn't say fan, I guess maybe respect. Once again, it's that the asshole, but you rather have him on your side because he will stab you in the front, not in the back.
Yeah. I just think of him, right? I'm coming in from a fan. My opinion of him didn't change. I think it kind of was reinforced a bit more.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes people say I'm loyal to you to a front until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah.
And people always talk about that in a very idealistic kind of way, but they don't realize the flip side of it is if you're not loyal, when I decide not to, right, I'm gonna be a complete asshole to you. I'm just gonna fucking outcast you.
Mm,
Like people don't think of it in that way. They think of it, oh, this guy's a loyal guy.
right.
But now you're seeing like, okay, there's the flip side of being loyal, meaning that you are gonna fuck other people up who are not loyal to you.
Mm,
So I kind of understand. Like it gives me a more nuanced understanding
yeah.
of him as a person. He's not perfect, right?
Yeah, nobody
Um,
is perfect. That's the thing, right? I think with a lot of sports stars, with a lot of movie stars, we put them on a pedestal. We have this ideal version of them without realizing that hey, they're human beings. They have faults, they have character flaws, and they all have character flaws. Just
Yeah.
which are the ones you are willing to close an eye to, which are the ones you're willing to accept. And I think and that's the issue with people who are such like diehards. They cannot look at it objectively in that, oh my god, yeah, the Young Bucks are the best. They're so virtuous. They're the greatest. They would never do anything like this. Or CM Punk, he's the best. He tells it like it is, and that's what I love about him. He's honest.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because I kind of think that somehow the Elite will be able to bounce back on their feet and kind of come back.
Yeah.
But I feel with CM Punk is a bit different because it might be like because he cannot already outcast from WWE.
Yeah.
Then this shit happened in AEW. Now people are gonna think that he's the problem.
Yeah.
So do you feel that there's a way back for him in AEW?
Yes, I do. But the Young Bucks and Elite cannot be there.
Ooh, so it's an either or situation.
Or ROH, you literally split your company in half. And you dump the Elite and all that crap into ROH. But then again, I don't want like Claudio and the Blackpool Combat Club to be there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like unless you make ROH this fucking trampoline wrestling show, and then you make the real wrestling, real pro wrestling on Dynamite and AEW.
I think keep them on separate rosters lah. Basically, do what? Remember that time when AJ Styles somehow had a falling out with Paul Heyman?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. They might not like each other, but they're on different brands, so who cares?
Well, Irvin says rumor is Jericho is going for the ROH title. I actually saw that in that when Claudio and Dax were having their match, right? And on commentary, Jericho was like so impressed. He was like, maybe that's the next title I go for.
Was he say it like that?
He said it like I'm paraphrasing. He said it in a much more like mysterious, teasery sort of a way. Like he's never been I've never been an ROH champion, so I think there's not much to that. I don't know. Maybe
The only thing that took away from that whole commentary was Caprice making fun of Chris Jericho for shouting too much. Do you see that?
No, and then Chris Jericho was like, humbled. Like, I was like, oh my god, like I love Caprice so much. So much more than fucking Excalibur needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You know what? Keep Jericho, fight him against Claudio, put it in the ROH. Like why not, right?
Yeah.
Keep him away from the title scene. Let Danielson be the guy in the title scene.
Okay. And maybe this is my bias showing. But ultimately, if we look at an AEW without the Elite versus an AEW without Punk, which AEW does better?
Okay, very simple. I got historical evidence to prove it.
Okay.
The first 2 years of AEW without CM Punk, how was it?
It was a shit show. But here's the thing. All elite fans will say that, they were the ones who brought all the fans in the first place. And to that I say, you're blinded by your loyalty to your group. And the numbers prove it as well.
They brought a fan base over. I don't deny that.
Yeah. But this very same fan base also appreciates good wrestling. And when you take away your elite, right, they will stay for the rest. They will stay for the CM Punks and your Bryan Danielsons and whatnot.
But can we all agree in the year that since CM Punk joined AEW has been elevated to another level with CM Punk?
Yes, no, 100%. I agree. So you want to say, you should show loyalty to the Young Bucks because they were there originally. Yeah, why not? There's an argument to be made. You know what? Honestly, I feel like there's an argument to be made that even if AEW didn't start with the Young Bucks, you still had Cody, you had Chris Jericho. At some point, you would have had Moxley.
Yeah.
And there are a million and one other trampoline wrestlers out there.
Yeah.
That could have filled that role.
And of course, like once Adam Cole is back and Adam Cole really gets back to like NXT Adam Cole, that you already have like another top tier star there.
Bro, Adam Cole without the Young Bucks influence. We've already seen what Adam Cole can achieve with proper management, right? In
Yeah.
NXT. Now imagine he doesn't have his stupid bad influence friends there anymore.
FTR without the Young Bucks hanging over them,
Oh,
they will be like the standard bearers of the company in the tag team division.
So, to go back to the question, an AEW without the Young Bucks or an AEW without CM Punk? Honestly, like, you know what my answer will be. Obviously, an AEW without the Elite, actually, not just the Young Bucks, but the Elite, would be a better product moving forward.
Yeah.
And more successful.
Very simple, bro. Without the Elite kind of like I wouldn't say holding people down, but kind of taking up television space.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the likes of Ricky Starks?
Yeah.
The likes of fucking like Darby Allin again, finally. The likes of Ethan Page, for God's sake.
Powerhouse Hobbs, Miro.
Whoever is in the Stokely Hathaways group also.
Sure. You know, all these people will have more time to get their shit done, right?
Yeah.
Jason says, my hot take, Punk will leave AEW before the Elite. Okay, let's look at the other alternative, right? Which is, like you said, Punk, an AEW without Punk. Well, it's not like, it will be the end of AEW. Of course it will not be. They will still survive and they might just thrive. But to what end? They will just be there. Stagnant.
Honestly, AEW without Punk will be fine if MJF takes up that ball and becomes that renegade guy.
Yeah. But who is Punk MJF going to go up against?
They need to build the babyface stars of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know the guy. The guy is right there, but he hasn't been highlighted to the extent that I think he should.
Who?
Bro, fucking hell, Ricky Starks.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Even Wardlow, once he is able to be the guy like a Batista, can be the guy as well.
Yeah. But we are not there because they haven't been building them, because after MJF and CM Punk finished their business, Wardlow just was fighting fake security guards.
Tough lah. Hey, if Saleh, if you're still in the chat, bro, I know what's the topic to clip already. Is this AEW without CM Punk, AEW without the Elite? Perfect.
Bro, this whole discussion has been clip-worthy, honestly. So who says AEW without Tony Khan? AEW without Tony Khan would not exist because they will not be able to make money. Confirm.
Terus gone.
What's that mean?
Can pack up already.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, as much as we want to blame Tony Khan for a lot of things, right? Without Tony Khan's money, none of this shit happens. So we should thank Tony Khan, but also at the same time, Tony Khan, use your money wisely. Don't just throw, and this is not like you buying collectibles and then putting up on your wall. It feels like that right now. And some of the collectibles you buy already, you don't know what to do, you just shove them in one corner.
Yeah, then it becomes like a viewing booth lah, essentially, not something that you use, right?
And then you have them show up in promos talking about, God, why have you forsaken me? When really they are talking about you, Tony.
Miro should have been a world champion by now. My thoughts.
Should have been him. It should have been him. I am actually, you know what? After this podcast, I am going to go on YouTube and listen to every Miro promo again. I confirm he was talking about Tony Khan the whole time.
And speaking of Tony Khan's money, right, I will never forget the end of the press conference where he said, I got so much more fucking money than fucking, what's his name? What's the promotion?
Crockett Promotions.
I got more money than Crockett. Then his eyes start bugging like.
Hey, he's taking this very personally. I thought you're supposed to not take business personally.
He hurt lah because WWE playing dirty against him finally.
It's so stupid. What do you expect? What you're in the wrestling business, and even not even just in any business, competitors are going to try to counter program you. You have to expect it. And I remember like watching the press con, he got so fucking worked up. I've been nothing but nice. I said nice things about them. And who knows what oh my God, you're getting me riled up, bro. Who knows what his interpretation of them not being nice to him is. For all we know, they could have just been like, actually, no thanks. We don't want to do a cross promo. Bye bye. And then he's like, "Wow, they were so rude to me."
I let everyone to talk nice things about John Cena on his anniversary, and then you do this to me.
Come on, dude. What did you expect? What you expect to invade Raw? Fuck lah, relax lah, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I think he has to wise up, and he will.
Mm.
He will eventually, he will eventually become like Eric Bischoff or become bitter like Vince McMahon. I don't know, but that's what the wrestling business does to you. What it fucks you up, lah.
No, but it's any business that generates money where you have to deal with egos and stars and celebrity. It is what it is, right?
You don't work with someone if it doesn't benefit them. Why would they want to work with you?
Yeah, yeah. No, nobody is like all smiles, hold hand. Oh, you say nice thing about me, I say nice thing about you. It's like I don't know. Okay lah. It feels like It feels like this is someone first time anyone has said no to him because he's a billionaire. I'm sure his whole life people have said yes to him. His own employees probably is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Oh fucking Tony, yeah. Gee, everyone agrees with your shit ideas because you are paying them.
Yeah. Imagine if your CM Punk is just the best definition of somebody who doesn't owe anyone a living.
Yeah.
He is not like, how to say, tied down or like held down in any form by anyone, even his own boss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens when you have like a legitimate life wire renegade who do whatever the fuck he wants to do, lah.
Yeah. So I think he's starting to realize, and hopefully this is a lesson. Like CM Punk said, we're all learning. He's probably just talking about him. You're learning about this business, and it will eat you up and spit you out.
Yeah, come. I teach you. You know what? The only way to do well, you go listen to Undertaker. Undertaker will survive. Loyalty, bro. Loyalty.
That's it, bro. He's gonna like throw like billions of dollars to Undertaker. Undertaker, you come in and you will be our locker room leader. That's your title, locker room leader.
That was the one time that Undertaker wanted to appear at that one. What what was it, like the convention by
Starcast.
The Starcast. Then after that, he had a falling out with Vince McMahon over it. What?
Yeah. Irvin says, what will AEW Wrestlers Court look like? Oh my god, all of a sudden I'm thinking skits. Then we can have like the emo fucking Gen Zs in one corner, you know, your Young Bucks and a Hangman Page. I want to talk about my feelings. And then they're whispering to each other.
Poor guy.
He got deep thoughts in the corner, and then you got Darby Allin in one corner not saying anything. He fucking emo and shit.
I know it's my generation, but very hard to imagine millennials being angry at each other. Like they don't have the backbone to be.
No, then they like say passive aggressive shit.
Yeah, tough lah. Well, wrapping up this whole
Dovahkiin
thing.
says, this is a never-ending conversation, you guys. Dovahkiin says,
What?
Jericho can be that locker room leader. I remember during the press scrum, Jericho, he mentioned, he told the locker rooms, like, don't go out there and like, use vulgarities all the time. It cheapens it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, you are the one going out there calling people shit, flipping the bird, and like, what's it? He wanted to
Deep shit.
dipshit. He was the one who created that shirt. What was that shirt?
Pussy, is it?
No. What?
GYF.
GYF. And then Moxley. GFY. Get the fuck out, right? No, GFY is what? Go fuck yourself. And then Moxley went and said it on air. And then he was like, fuck. But yeah.
Well, you know what? It's like the kettle calling the pot black lah. It is what it is. Wrestlers, you always do wrestler things.
Danhausen is the judge. Hook and Darby Allin are your lawyers. Cannot. Darby Allin doesn't talk.
Actually, it's quite funny if they do that skit though. I will definitely watch that.
They just stand there and like.
Oh dear gosh.
Okay lah. I think we all need a break from this drama. Let's go and enjoy wrestling for what it is. Raw is tomorrow. We got Dynamite coming up, the tournament and everything.
If you ever want to laugh at the nonsensicalness of it all, the ridiculousness of it all, can watch and listen to Jim Cornette as well.
Yeah. Watch the press scrum again, but this time instead of focusing on CM Punk's face, focus on Tony Khan's face. That's the best entertainment ever.
And watch Miro's promos. Now I feel tempted to check out his promos again, bro.
Yes, it's Miro. I'm telling you, bro. This whole time we are talking about, him talking to God. No. He's talking about Tony Khan.
Amazing.
Mansoor is super underrated. Look out for him. You know what, bro? I actually distinctly remember thinking about that.
Yeah.
When I was. Like I mentioned, right, I was watching SmackDown while I was doing my laundry. So Maximum Male Models had this match. Is Maximum Male Models and
8-man.
Yeah, 8-man. Together with the Los Lotharios versus Hit Row and Street Profits.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember one spot where, you know how a lot of times you have wrestlers just standing there waiting to get hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, it looks damn fucking cock lah, right? Like Mansoor, I was like, oh wow. Like every time he knows that he's about to take a hit and he's early, he will like stun a bit, like
He buy the time a bit lah.
yeah, so it doesn't look like he is waiting for a shot. So like he's gonna take a clothesline, right? He'll purposely face the wrong way. Then he will and he has to overact because he's doing the whole male model thing. So he's like, and he looks around, bang, get hits with the clothesline. I don't know why that really stuck out in my mind. I'm like, oh, I see the little efforts he's putting in. Mansoor, you have Mr. Young's stamp of approval. Mansoor.
Bro, the maximum male models is like my new guilty pleasure, bro. I don't know who. I think it's average 95 on our fucking Discord.
Maxine, bro.
Yeah, he forgave her thirsting over Maxine, but I mean, she's beautiful and all that. But
yeah.
I'm interested in LA Knight making a return potentially.
Well, I mean, there was this whole thing where he talked about the night is long, whatever shit, and I'm like, oh, okay, is he hinting LA Knight is coming back?
Yeah, things are getting interesting.
Yep.
Karen Cross is killing it on SmackDown. There are other things in wrestling that is entertaining, but again, the shadow of this whole situation makes it very tough. But we gotta get through it, right?
Bro, you know what this means? In about 10 years' time, when Dark Side of the Ring, the Elite comes out, oh, we are gonna love watching that shit.
But somebody needs to die. Then it will become the next level.
Hey, what? No lah, can just do what already lah. Can do
like Pain from Hell like that lah.
Yeah. Or okay lah, 15, 20 years time. Bro, we better be around, okay? We better be around for that shit.
Hopefully, this podcast is streaming live from the metaverse by then. Huh?
Oh my god, we're all wearing headsets and actually wrestling each other in the metaverse.
Oh dear gosh, I think that'll be quite funny.
Yeah. Okay, we won't go through every single thing that happened, but we covered this whole debacle already. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us and spending your Monday afternoon with us. We've almost hit the 2-hour mark, actually, so we appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, very appreciative of everyone listening in. And of course, as you can see, we got no more Nick Mutt as our sponsor already. So he already finished his package with us. So, but please keep following him and please keep supporting local wrestling companies. Or should I say local companies that are wrestling fans?
Sure, whatever the case may be. And of course, if you'd like to support us via Patreon, we have a Patreon link. It's down in the description. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, come join the Discord and talk with us. We try to react as things happen as well. Since we do this podcast only on the Mondays, right? The shit that happens in between, we can, get everybody's reaction. Our reaction, sometimes we jump in as well and chime in. It's always good fun talking about pro wrestling.
Yeah, man. Mighty apparently gave a shout out to VPW. So Vietnam Pro Wrestling is a thing. So they actually have a promotion there in Vietnam. So let us know what's going on. Tag us on our Instagram.
Bro, you know what their tagline should be?
What?
For sure.
Is that like supposed to be a play on my catchphrase?
Yeah, lah. Pho is Vietnamese noodles, right?
Oh, pho, like
pho. For sure. Come on.
Okay.
Give a brother some props.
Late to the party. Good job. Okay. We want Nick Mutt. Tomakin says Nick Mutt is Team Kenny.
Nick Mutt is Team Elite, is it? We did hit 15 likes on the episode, right? And I did mention earlier just now when we were talking about it, right, that I would reveal who I was alluding to earlier.
So how? I'm gonna do the review. I'm gonna be the Joker, Mr. Young.
Wrestling Fur, everyone says Zayden. A joke? What Joker? Oh,
like
like
MJF lah.
Okay, the point is, right? The point is, we were talking about like who's the asshole you would rather deal with like upfront, and then I mentioned that I, in my past have worked with people like that before, right? And this should come to no surprise to anybody who has followed his career. But I'm talking about an ex-co-host of mine. And if you know my career, you know who he is. And I already say he's a he, so that's a dead giveaway already. And look, at the end of the day, right, like I don't even think that he would be offended that I did say this because, he's quite upfront about the way he is. He's the sort of guy who he will say what he feels, and if you don't like it, well, shove it up your ass. It's a lot like CM Punk.
And he will go to the bed. He will go to bed for the people that he cares about, lah.
Yeah, and he has gone to bed for me many, many times, and I appreciate it. It's not DK lah, walao eh. Yeah, he's never been my co-host.
Oh, my team.
What the fuck?
No. DK reports to Mr. Young, please.
Yeah, exactly. I'm his
Put some
boss.
respect. Put some
I'm
respect
Mr. Young.
on Mr. Young.
I know
Mr. Young.
this co-host is somebody I co-hosted with before I joined Power. So there you go.
Okay, go do do your research.
There you go. Okay. I purposely kept it vague enough. So, that being said, once again, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate your time. Go enjoy the rest of your Monday. I will be streaming later on my Twitch channel, playing horror games again from 7 p.m. onwards. So that's Mr. Young GG on Twitch.
All right, have fun, Mr. Young. I'll be spending this weekend, hopefully pleasing my girlfriend, for her birthday.
In what way?
You know, giving her a very nice birthday gift
You know,
and all that kind of stuff.
shaving the mustache, everything, so it's smooth, huh?
What the hell talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
So,
But okay.
so that when things happen, it's nice to feel.
That one giving too many things away. If you give me 20 likes, I'll tell you what exactly I'm going to do.
Hello, I know, it's caress the face.
Sure.
When you all touch face, then like not stubbly what.
Okay, one thing.
Irvin says eat muffin.
Eat muffin. One thing we're not going to do, we're not going to watch wrestling lah. So I'm sorry, I'll be away from wrestling this week. So we shall see what happens next week. Yeah?
It's Kali, another press scrum happened. No, okay. Everybody, get your minds out of the gutter.
We should get out. We should get out of it before we like.
We bury ourselves deeper. You know what? This is like CM Punk and his press scrum. We should just stop it before we say too much.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody have yourself a great week. We'll see you again soon. Please drop by the Discord and we'll see you there. Foreign shaking his head already. It's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. Have a great week ahead.
Kick to the gut. I like it.